Hello, and this is just some footage taken from about an hour of gameplay on my Necro. So today's topic of this video is release 16.0, and I've got to say that I can't say anything about this yet. The first basic thing I'm liking about this is that Kabam is providing a lot more information on this update than they have with the previous ones. Releases like 14 and 15 have never had these large threads with every little detail on the updates to the thing. Gotta say I'm a fan of this so far. Seems like they're really putting in that effort, because, you know, they've been on this for about 3 weeks now, since it was up on testing. And it really kind of hurts a bit that I can't get on personally, but maybe I would enter the competition if I knew it was such a big deal. I'd like to talk a little bit about the weapons that are going to be coming out in these dungeons. They're a pretty interesting thing. The katana from the Spider Den, which is the Doku no Ken, is a little bit stronger than the Masamune in DPS, but they lowered the range to the sword range. If you think about it, it would just be a tier 13 katana. All you'd have to do is really just raise the range back up from sword to katana. I also heard, because they added some amplitude or frequency, that it'd shoot like a staff, which would kind of look odd for a one-bullet weapon, but maybe it'd be something like a spirit dagger. The bow from the Forest Maze, which is named the Leaf Bow, currently fires with a very low range for a bow. It's basically a katana. I think it's something like 4 range. It's got the damage in each shot like a covert, but only shoots 1 bullet, which is kind of really weak. Some may be complaining about this is very underpowered. I'd have to agree with you a little bit. Sure, the bow category doesn't have a poison fang dagger or a crystal staff or a sprite wand, but this weapon just seems to suck too much to me. The weapon is basically a tier 4, tier 5 katana. I probably wouldn't have even complained about this weapon if the other 2 weapons weren't so good. But on the other hand, we don't really need a third really good untiered bow, if you know what I mean. That sword from the Pirate Cave, which is currently the Pirate King's Cutlass, has the damage of a sword between Golden and Ravenheart, but has a boosted rate of fire. The 30% fire rate boost would bring this sword into contention with the Acclaim, but do we really need another sword to be in contention with an Acclaim when we already have the ASS and the D-Blade? I would personally have liked to see a new staff from the update, but with the count of useful untiered staffs in comparison to the total of untiered staffs at the lowest ratio of all weapons, 1 out of 3. The entire release itself could even be questioned, as we're just buffing old dungeons, but I'm going to have to give this a good chance because they could definitely use some filler before the endgame dungeons we've been sitting around waiting for about 8 or 9 months. You guys could always just re-release the Lair of Draconis, or remove the Rock Dragon, but I will assume that neither is going to be done here. Another thing that I'm really excited about, well, most people are really excited about, because, you know, 5 gold matters a lot. Well, actually, it kind of does when it stacks up to 50. That was a terrible joke. But the item purchase confirmation button, how is that going to work, really? Like, if I'm spamming my HP key and I have that option on, am I gonna like press that and something's gonna pop up and I'm in the middle of a boss and I'm gonna die because I can't do it fast enough? Maybe they should have something like I like double tap F, which is my key. I double tap it and then like if I tap it one more time, it'll pop up. And there's like no message, you just need to know that. That would be something that might be interesting. They've also said that they're gonna have new loot drop rates and items, which is very unspecific, considering there are a lot of items that a lot of people want. I'm aware that there are gonna be new items, we've already talked about that, but what are these new loot drop rates? I'd like to see that in the future of this update being in production, and you know, if they haven't added them yet, we are probably not going to see them or see this update for a week or so. So I'm still waiting for that, probably in the next 2 weeks. But it says, please note that these are not officially in the testing build and could be pushed back to a later release, which is on the new loot drop rates and the item purchase confirmation button. So that is pretty interesting. Are we going to see that in this update? Are we going to see that in the next update? I just thought I'd show you this clip because people seem to really want a wine cellar these days. Like lower stars really want wine cellars. They will just freak out for a wine cellar. I never used to notice that earlier, but that seems to be something happening now. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.